EPS4 Part 13. Miyako Jima. JICA EPS training started from Miyako Jima, Okinawa in 2006. We use natural purified water. In case of mountain area, we can find a good quality of spring water. We store the natural spring water and use for water supply system. In case of island, there is fresh water in the underground. We can use this water. Where can we find clean and safe water in nature? In mountainous country, many houses are scattered on the slope. They use natural spring on the slope. These waters by natural purified process are always clear and safe to use. Water source for Ecological Water Works, Hokkaido, Japan. Porous pipes were placed under the gravel bed in a river. Almost suspended free water is taken for a slow sand filter plant. This is an intake of an artificial subsurface water. Japan is an island country surrounded by the sea and has many mountains. It rains on the mountains. There are many forests and many springs. Its water is always flowing into the river from the mountain. Ueda City is about 200 kilometers far from Tokyo and in mountain area. Okinawa District is islands country in southwest in mainland of Japan where is about more than 2,000 kilometers far from Tokyo. Okinawa countries are surrounded by coral reefs and warm currents. The climate is similar to tropical islands. In Okinawa, there are no large rivers, and most of the groundwater was hard water, so it is difficult to obtain good quality water that is soft water. Until several decades ago, it also used rain harvest water. Miyako Jima Island is an uplifted coral reef island where is quite different environment compared with main part of Japan. Area of islands of Miyako Jima is 204 square kilometers, population is 55,000 persons. Before 1997, prechlorination as algicide to receiving well was a popular to kill the algae and to stop the algal growth in all over Japan. This is popular for rapid sand filter. Mr. Mitsutoshi Tamari, Managing Director of Sodayama WTP, Miyako Jima, visited to Nakamoto, Shinshu University in July 8, 1997. Nakamoto explained about the ecological purification system of slow sand filter. He stopped to injection of algicide into receiving well. As soon as the injection stopped, the taste of tap water became delicious. My first visit to Miyako Jima, at that time in 1997, before construction of hardness reduction plant. This hardness reduction plant was used during 20 years. Then the refresh of this plant has been done. They pumped up the underground water as water source. In the filter pond, algal bloom was so severe. They could not flow out from the scum out. The prechlorination was a popular treatment to stop the algal growth for WTP in all over Japan. The close the scum out was also popular. After the injection stopped in 1997, the algae grew well in filter ponds. Biological processing has begun to work. However, new hard work raised to remove floating algae. Hardness reducing plant was completed in 1998. The recovery of the taste was 1 year before the run of the hardness reducing plant. EPS functioned. The tap water became delicious. Due to active photosynthesis, water pH shifted to high pH. Biological softening happened in active slow sand filter. Biological mineralization occurred by algal photosynthesis. This process is similar to coral reef formation. Corals live symbiotically with algae. Algae photosynthesize within corals, producing organic matter and at the same time precipitating calcium from seawater. As a result, the coral grows larger. JICA EPS training started from 2006 in Miyako Jima Island, Okinawa to Pacific Islands and Asian countries. Nakamoto published a manual in Japanese with English summary in 2005. The title is Quest for Safe and Delicious Water. And I made video on this subject. JICA training in Okinawa expanded to Ishigaki Island from 2009. After that, JICA also made YouTube file. You can watch these videos from QR codes. I contributed to JICA training. Using a model, lecture and practical purification plant. We watched the sand bed. Sand surface was taken. Sand is clear. Algal mat is just laid on the sand surface. Thread-like algae were observed on and between the sand. The size of algae is much smaller than the size of sand. Fine sand. But this size is too large to separate the small organisms from the sand. Aerobic condition for small animals is the key. Sand is just habitat. Small sand and uniformity of sand size is not important. Large size of sand and higher flow rate are better for organisms. Sand is just habitat. Sand size is not important. Large size of sand and higher flow rate are better for organisms. Shallow depth is better. Touch the bottom by stick. Bubbles formed. Supersaturated dissolved oxygen at the bottom. Active photosynthesis by algae and aerobic condition for small animals are the key. When the aerobic condition on and in the sand layer, sand is always clear. When the scum out is closed, the diurnal oxygen change becomes too large. Then during the night, dissolved oxygen was consumed up. The sand became black. Bad smell was produced. This condition is dangerous for small organisms in the sand layer. This is also no good for human being. Aerobic condition is essential for biological activity. Aerobic condition is gentle for every small organisms in slow sand filter. Faster flow rate is better, especially warm region. Biological activity is high. You have to remember, always, this is Ecological Purification System by biological community. Remember, Thames Water Company shifted to higher filter rate to keep aerobic condition in the slow sand filter. Aerobic condition is essential for heterotrophic organisms in the sand layer. Faster flow rate is better for small organisms in the filter. Aerobic condition is essential for biological activity. There is downward current. Algal photosynthesis accelerates purification process by every organisms in this system. Please confirm the function of ecological purification system by small model. Please explain the real system to your friends. This is our technology. We confirmed the performance of ecological purification system in tropical Samoa. Our experience in tropical Samoa convinced us of the effectiveness of the ecological purification system. Slow sand filter was not a mechanical sand filtration, but a purification process using a biological community.